Rachel and Nikki from the Stitch Sisters here, and we are bringing you a tutorial today.
That's why we're standing.
Yes, we are. This is very strange for us. I'm sure it is for you too, especially seeing as I'm in my dungas today and I feel like a proper Blue Peter presenter. So what we're going to do today is show you how to do a refashion.
Yes.
For some of you who may not know, this week is Fashion Revolution Week, and that's all about trying to make us more aware of what's in our wardrobes and reusing things and upcycling things. So what we thought would be really useful to show you is how to change a pair of jeans into
a skirt.
A denim skirt, yes. So we've both got a pair of jeans here. I have stolen these off of my husband. It's an old pair of Levi's that don't fit him anymore. These days I prefer men's jeans, so that works well for me.
Yeah, and I've got a pair of Bowden jeans that I've had for a while, and the fit on the leg just isn't what I would want. They're a bit wide on the leg for me, and they're a bit of a boot flare, so not something I would wear at the moment, but they're a really good quality denim and still a nice colour, so they're prime for refashion.
Perfect. So the first thing that you need to do is to find yourself a pair of jeans that fit you reasonably well on the waist. Yeah. So these ones are a bit snug on my waist, but that's okay, because once I've turned it into a skirt, I'm planning on wearing them higher than the jeans are supposed to fit. So you can get away with a little bit smaller. What's most important is that they fit you on your hip area. Whatever your widest part is, you need to make sure that you can fit them. So try the jeans on. Obviously, if you don't have an old pair of jeans, you can always hit up the charity shops and see if you can find a pair in there. That's perfect. And like I said, don't worry too much about whether they're men's or women's jeans. They'll both work just as well. And so the next thing to do is to decide what length you'd like your jeans to be. So that's literally as simple as holding them up against you or putting them on and just having a look and thinking where you'd like them to end. I've already marked these, so I'll hold it close to the camera so you can see I've just drawn a line right across the leg, and I want to take 19 inches off the bottom of these to get the length that I want. Now you've got two options for your hem. You can turn your hem and stitch it like you would with anything else. With denim, usually you do a double turn. So you need to factor seam allowance in before you cut. For my jeans, I'm planning on just having a frayed edge, so I haven't left any hem allowance. I'll talk you through how to do that when we get to it later on. Right, so once you've cut the bottom off your jeans, you should have a little pair of denim shorts.
Love it.
Make sure you keep your bottom halves, not to make interesting leg warmers or
arm warmers
or sleeves. We're actually going to use these to fill in the gaps in our skirt.
Excellent.
The next step is to take a look at your jeans, and what you'll probably find is that on the inside leg seam here you have got a flat felled seam, or at least you'll have some top stitching. Usually on jeans, on the outer edge it's just a normal seam. If you have a look on there, there's no top stitching on there, but on the inside seam there is top stitching and sometimes a flat felled seam. So it's the inside seam that you want to cut along, and what we're going to do is to cut along that seam, so just underneath the flat felled seam you're going to cut along the leg and then up the other side so that you're separating the front and the back. Then what you're going to do is to cut on the crotch area. You're going to cut from the crotch up to the bottom of the zip fly. You don't want to go past the zip fly, you're just going to go up to the bottom of that. So once you've cut your inside seams, it should look something like this. So we've separated the front and the back, and then we've cut along the crotch curve. You also need to cut along the crotch curve just slightly at the back, just enough to allow you to overlap one over the other and have it sit flat. You can see here that the skirt is starting to take shape, but we have this opening here that we need to fill. That's where the bottom half of your trouser legs will come in. So you have a few different ways that you can do this. You first of all need to see how much width you need. So you take one of your legs and place that underneath your skirt so that you can see how much extra you're going to need. It may be that you can fit just one side of your leg under there. It may be that on a larger size or a skinny leg that you might need to open out the inside seam of the bottom half so that you can lay it out as one piece and pop it underneath. This is how it looks when it's pinned in place. You'll notice that I've made sure that it is the flat felled seam on the crotch area that is on the top, because that looks nicer to have that continuing all the way. I've made sure that I've just left some excess on the bottom there, because I'd rather have excess all the way round before I top stitch it in place, and then I can trim it off just in case it moves at all. And you'll also notice that I've pinned quite far out from the seam here, just so that I can leave the pins in place whilst I sew. So what I'm going to do now is set up the sewing machine, and I'm going to be attempting to sew as close to this edge as possible. You can, to make it easier, you can sew on this side, but that does mean that you're going to have a seam that's able to flap around. So I like to try and catch it right on the edge if I can. You could set up with the same top stitch, so I could use mustard top stitching thread here and try and keep that on exactly the same line, but I've decided I'm just going to use blue and try and get it just outside of that. So once you've got your front sewn up, you will notice that you now, from the reverse side, have excess fabric all the way around. So you simply need to trim that in line with the hem, and then trim around, giving yourself a small seam allowance. Denim does fray, and we're not bothering to finish those edges, so I would give yourself a good ½ an inch all the way around, just to make sure that it's not too close to your stitches. As for the back, you will notice that a couple of things are different at the back. One of them is that you don't have your flat felled seam. So in order to get a nice neat look at the back, the best thing to do is just to press a small hem before you put your insert in. You'll also notice that the shape and angle of the insert is different on the back, so that might mean two different things. One of them is that you can get away with turning your leg the other way in order to make it fit, so having it horizontal instead of vertical. So that's one way that you can do it. The other way is to use your other leg and open it out so that you have an extra seam running down the middle. Entirely up to you which way you choose to do, but once you've decided, pin it in place and stitch it the way you did at the front. When you've finished sewing your jeans together, you need to trim it up so that it's even all the way round. I often use the curve that I've already cut on the front to help me shape the back. Then what you need to do is hem it, and you can do that in one of two ways. So I have Nikki's skirt here, and she has just turned it and double hem and stitched it in place. That looks very nice on this dark indigo denim. Because I'm going for more of a worn look, then I want to fray the bottom of mine. So to do that, what you need to do is to drop your stitch length to a short stitch, like a 2, and stitch all the way around. I've just done that 1/4 inch from the edge. I haven't yet frayed this section, but you can see even after it's cut, it started to create little frays. In order to fray it further, you literally just need to pull on those, pull them along. If you do them in order, it makes it easier. What makes it even easier is if you turn it upside down, you can actually see the white threads, and you can see which one it is that you need to pull. Keep pulling those all the way along until you've frayed it right up to the stitch line, and then when you're done, you can choose to leave the longer bits on, or you can just trim them all off and until you're happy with it. So that's it, we're all done. Here's the finished skirt, complete with frayed edge. There it is on the back. And Nikki was so excited, she's already gone and changed and put hers on.
So I couldn't wait any longer. It had to get on, so I'm wearing it.
So I'm going to slip mine on, and then we'll go outside and take some proncy photos in the sunshine.
See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.